turkey time at Friendly Chevrolet, and I'm here with Fire Marshal Chris Richmond and car expert Ryan and turkey expert Ryan.
Turkey expert, yes.
We are frying a turkey out here and we want to do it safely. Fire Marshal Chris, there are 3 times as many fires on Thanksgiving Day. Is that correct? 3 times as many fires?
That's correct. National statistics show that home cooking fires increase dramatically around the holidays, particularly Thanksgiving. It's the day of the year where we have the most fires nationally. We see that locally as well.
So we want to be safe, and Ryan, you're going to help us be safe here and show us how to properly fry a turkey.
I'm going to do that, yes.
All right.
We're going to start out, you want, as the fire marshal was saying earlier, 10 feet away from any building or combustible material. No overhangs. That way flame's going to go up and catch anything on fire if you do have a problem. Our oil, we're going to be cooking at 350 degrees. That's why I usually put out when I drop it in, and then it usually cools down to about 330 is where I usually cook at. Typically on a turkey, you're going to cook about 3.5 minutes per pound. So this is a 14-pound turkey, so we're going to be around the 45 to 50 minute mark. So I'm going to go over and grab my gloves. Got some silicone heat resistant gloves over there and a pole to drop the turkey in the oil so I can stay away from it.
Okay.
And we'll stick it in there and get cooking.
Okay, you go do that and I'll talk to Chris a little bit.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about this. Like, for instance, you have a tie on, so you probably wouldn't go over there and drop the turkey in with the tie.
That's right. We never want to cook with loose clothing. Long sleeves sometimes are a problem. We always want to make sure that we don't have anything combustible nearby, that we've not got a nice clean area. And then of course we've got a fire extinguisher nearby just in case anything untoward happens.
Now at home, speaking of fire extinguisher, where should the fire extinguisher be in a person's home?
Right. We always want to have a fire extinguisher on each level of the home. And me personally, I always want to see one in the kitchen, right?
Okay.
Because that's where just about 50% of all home fires start in the kitchen. So that's the place to definitely have a fire extinguisher. We always like to see them mounted or in the same place all the time.
Now, do they expire or are they good forever?
Right, they're good for a number of years. Most of them come with the gauge. As long as you're in the green zone, you're good. I recommend that everybody replace their fire extinguishers once every 10 years, similar to smoke detectors.
Okay, smoke detector, that was my next question. Smoke detectors once every 10 years?
Right, we always recommend replacing smoke detectors once every 10 years so that they're giving you maximum protection.
I see that on your Facebook page. That must be a very important direction to give to people, that to really remember to replace those smoke detectors.
Right, we try to check them once a month, make sure they're functioning and doing everything they should be doing for us once a month. Replace them once every 10 years and you should be good to go.
How does one prevent a grease fire in the kitchen?
Right, grease fires, the best way to work on preventing a grease fire or to deal with the grease fire is to smother it. So if you've got a lid that you can put over the pot or the kettle that has grease, that's the best way. That way it doesn't get any oxygen, it just goes out and you don't have any splashing grease that can spread the fire. A second way, of course, is baking soda.
Okay.
That's a good way, or flour will help smother the grease. Similarly, but that can splash a little bit, so that can get a little bit tricky. But if that's what you've got to work with, if you don't have a fire extinguisher, you don't have a lid to put on, flour or baking soda is a good plan.
Good. Most people have that handy in their kitchen, so you have it readily available. Okay, Ryan, the turkey master.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. All right.
All right.
We're standing back, aren't we?
That's right. There it is. Just putting it in nice and slowly. That way we don't get any splash from the grease. That's a great technique. That's one of the number one things we see with these cooking situations is that the turkey will get put in too quickly and grease will splash up and cause a fire. So the way you put it in there nice and slowly, and of course you're going to want to take it out the same way. Everything you do is nice and slow.
What happens just if, you know, if the worst scenario, the thing catches on fire and you have something just go terribly wrong with cooking the turkey out here?
Right. The worst scenario is that you can leave it unattended and forget about it, and that it just keeps going and it starts to burn. I had that happen on a response call that I had a number of years ago. And luckily, the folks that had that situation happen, they had it set up correctly where it was far away from a structure, and that when that occurred, it burned about a 10 or 12 foot circle all the way around. And that's why we always recommend at least 10 foot from anything else, and making sure that you've got a clean area. You gotta attend your cooking the entire time that you're cooking.
So the person cooking needs to be responsible and stay out here, not running in to answer a phone or to think, oh, I can run and do something. You just need to be here attending the turkey.
Yep. And if it does get out of control, clearly the best thing you can do is dial 911, get the fire department en route. We'll come. We've got protective gear and clothing. We've got extinguishers. We'll be able to turn off that propane tank and safely extinguish the fire without anyone getting hurt.
Right.
That's the number one thing. We don't want anybody to get hurt.
So if it's too far gone, don't try anything yourself. Right. Good. Any other safety tips you can think of offhand for Thanksgiving?
Well, we want everybody to enjoy the holidays, but we want them to also plan ahead. Just like you fill out your shopping list and you buy your groceries, we just ask that you think about safety a little bit on the front end as well. Kind of come up with your list of things that you want to check, whether it's that smoke detector, or check that, make sure you've got that extinguisher where it needs to be, and that you've got a setup that's appropriate for what you're trying to accomplish that day, and then go about your holidays and have a good time.
That sounds great. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Fire Marshal Chris, and we'll be right back. We're cooking the turkey here, and we're going to go inside, and we have some great recipes to finish off your Thanksgiving dinner. We'll be right back. What's that? Shyster aliens are trying to steal Susan's Automall's deals. We're on it.
You want your MIP?
Attention!
These aliens are going to overcharge you and not give you enough for your trade. You need to keep your money in the bank and come to Susan's Auto Mall.
We're having Black Friday all month long with 6 months, no payment. Keep your money in the bank and don't pay for 6 months. Susan's Auto Mall, Prairie Crossing, Springfield.